Umar Nurmagomedov's coach Javier Mendez believes that Merab beat Umar because he showboated in the final round. Mendez argues that Umar won 3 out of the 5 rounds despite the judge's decision.
But when I come back and I see him, he comes in, I go into the room and I see his hand, and you look at his hand here, and this finger's all the way down here, broken, and I'm like, my eyes just got really wide, like, whoa.
Oh my God.
What the heck, and he was, I just said to him, I said what I felt. I said, you know what, Umar? I felt, in my opinion, I felt you won 3 out of the 5 rounds, and maybe I'm being biased, but I felt in the 5th round, the reason why you didn't win is because he showboated his way to winning that. Like,
yes.
He acted like the victor where you were tired, and that's why I feel he basically took it from you because you led him, but I felt you won, because when you're looking on damage and this and that, but when it comes to presence, he definitely got that.
Yes.
He got that. So, but the actual damage that he did was nothing compared to what Umar did. He did more. But again, he did show that I'm the winner, and Umar couldn't stop him, from showing that, So, I can see how the judges would get swayed on that,
Fight announcements. Edmund Shabazian is set to face Andre Petroski at UFC Atlanta on June 14th. Shabazian has struggled with consistency in recent years, alternating wins and losses since 2021. Most recently, he secured a first-round TKO victory over Dylan Budka in February. Petroski, on the other hand, enters the bout with strong momentum, having won 3 consecutive fights. His latest victory came via unanimous decision against Adolfo Vieira. Manel Kape versus Brandon Royval has been booked for UFC 317 on June 28th. Both fighters are coming off back-to-back wins. Kape most recently defeated Asu Amabaya via TKO in the 3rd round last month. Royval is coming off a split decision win over Tatsuro Taira in October. Ben Askren explains why he believes it's a bad move for Sean O'Malley to rematch Merab Dvlishvili right away. Askren believes that if O'Malley suffers another dominant defeat, it could damage his career and diminish the hype surrounding him.
And honestly, for Sean, if you look at his skill set and who he is, I kind of think this is a bad move. If he gets beat up by Merab again, then he loses a whole bunch of attraction, because it's like, well, you already lost to the champ twice, so until the champ goes away, they're not going to give you a 3rd shot against him. He could have fought some maybe lower ranked guys and just looked, against guys who can't take him down. He kind of looks like a real freaking superstar, right? He's really exciting, very diverse striking attack. So he could look really good, built the fight back up into something bigger. But now I feel like everyone is feeling like you're feeling. Hey, we just saw this. It wasn't competitive. Why do we need to see this again?
Yeah, you see, I don't mind seeing it again. My thing was, I thought, and granted, I'm not his coach, I'm not everybody. I thought that in order for him to really, truly, be able to fight this guy the way that he needs to, we may be out of pocket here. We may not know what he's doing, but yes. My thought was, Sean O'Malley should maybe go to Ben Askren's Wrestling Academy, get some wrestling shoes, and literally just wrestle.
Michael Chandler provides an update on his training camp ahead of his fight against Paddy Pimblett at UFC 314. Chandler makes his intentions clear, stating that he's coming to finish Paddy and already has plans for a post-fight call-out once his hand is raised.
Today is officially the 2nd to last sparring session of the camp. The last 2 sparring sessions are essentially a dress rehearsal, a dry run, head geared up, making sure I don't get cut, going through my game plan, going with a training partner who's going to somewhat emulate the opponent. And also this last week of training, it's kind of like what I talk about. I wish you guys could understand what it feels like on the other side of your comfort zone. Like, if you push yourself outside of your comfort zone, if you do the right things, if you do more than what was asked of you, eventually life gets easier. I can't stress this enough. If it feels like your life is hard, it's probably because you're breaking promises to yourself, probably not attaining the best version of yourself, or not even close to the best version of yourself. You keep doing the things that you wish you wouldn't do. You keep saying the things you wish you wouldn't say. You keep breaking promises to yourself. And a training camp is very similar to life. When I get on the other side of all the hard work, I get to actually enjoy it. There's less pressure, there's more joy, things come easier. I'm moving off of muscle memory instead of having to force everything. And fighting is a metaphor for life. That's why people love it. But if you could just feel what it feels like to get on the other side of a little bit of pain, of a little bit of discomfort, continue to do the things that you need to do, not the things that you want to do. I haven't wanted to train 2 and 3 times a day for the last 8 weeks for this fight, but I know that I need to. And when I get to a point where everything's firing on all cylinders, I get to a point where I'm in shape, I get to a point where I'm happiest, healthiest, and hardest to kill. Now, as the fight gets closer, the camp gets easier and I can enjoy the fruits of my labor. So I'm excited about this fight. Tune in April 12th, UFC 314, Miami, Florida, Paddy Pimblett, 5-round, co-main event. I'm coming to steal the show, coming for performance of the night, knockout of the night, and then I got some sick call-outs. God bless. I'll see you at the top.
Henry Cejudo firmly believes that the UFC is trying to protect Sean O'Malley by booking an immediate rematch against Merab Dvlishvili for the bantamweight title at UFC 316. Cejudo anticipates that Merab will execute the same game plan as their first fight, but this time he thinks Merab could potentially finish O'Malley.
I mean, I think we all knew it, bro. It's Sean O'Malley's gonna get his rematch. It was the right thing to do to protect him, but I just feel like Sean has to get it done within the first 2 rounds.
What do you mean protect him? What are you trying to say?
But yeah, he's being protected, dude. Like after getting 50-45, does somebody really deserve a rematch after getting 50-45? Kamaru Dean. Like no, you got 50-45. Get in the back of the mother line and fight the Triple C. But Merab Dvlishvili he's pretty much gonna do the same thing. Level change strike. Maybe give it the first round and bring in the takedowns. It's the same thing. Okay, the question is, to me, Kamaru, could a guy like Sean O'Malley hit him to the body early, crack him to the face to get rid of him? He did hurt him to the body, I want to say in the 5th, and that's an indicator, man, the body could be open. And I think if Merab starts getting hit to the body, the fights he's gonna really pick up the pace. I can see Merab Dvlishvili actually stopping him this time around and just getting on top of him, just grinding upon him to a pulp.
Josh Emmett is scheduled to headline UFC Vegas 105 this weekend against Lerone Murphy. Murphy enters the bout with an undefeated professional record of 15-0. Emmett last competed in December of 2023, securing a devastating knockout victory over Bryce Mitchell. Despite a 15-month layoff, Emmett believes that a dominant finish and handing Murphy his first career loss could propel him back into title contention.
Yes, it's great to be here. It's exciting that it's fight week. The last fight week I had was December of 23, so I'm here, I'm ready, I'm excited to put on a show Saturday night. Yeah, besides just traveling, a hobby of my wife and I is, I've just been focused on getting back to 100%, hence the long layoff. I feel like I owe it to my coaches, myself first and foremost, my wife, my family, the UFC, just to be 100%, and that's what I've been working on during the layoff. Yeah, I still have momentum, even though it's been 15, 16 months. The fans are super excited to have me back in the octagon. I just haven't been at my best for the last handful of years, so I needed to get back to 100%, and it's going to show Saturday night. I feel that I fit towards the top of the crop in the featherweight division. I fought for the interim title. I fought Ilya, even though it wasn't my best showing or I wasn't at my best. I've been doing everything to get back into title contention, and timing's everything. So, with this fight, the vacant featherweight title is next weekend. I just have to go out there and perform the way that I know I'm capable, get a huge win, and I'll be in the conversations and back in title contention.
Jack Della Maddalena is set to challenge Belal Muhammad for the welterweight title next month at UFC 315. JDM does not think Belal is going to stand and strike with him, and if he does, it won't be for very long. Speaking to Fox Sports Australia, Jack said there's no question he's got a boring fight style. He's good at holding people down, getting victories. Fair play to him. George St. Pierre got some flack back in the day for being a boring style. and it's just because he's just better at people across the board. He can hold down the strikers, he can outstrike the grapplers, that sort of thing, so you've got to give him credit. I definitely think it's a boring style, but winning is obviously his #1 goal, and fair play to him, but I feel like I can beat him. I'm the more dangerous fighter for sure, and I think I can not only get the world title, but get the world title off a dominant finish with style points for sure. I think he'll dip his toes in the striking, and then he might think, I'm just better off getting the win. I think he's obviously a competitive guy, so he'll dip the toes, he'll get hurt, and then I think he'll revert back to what he thinks is the best, easiest method to victory. I think he's fast. I wouldn't say he's dangerous. I definitely think he's fast, but I don't think it's very dangerous striking. He's just good at being fast, and I think his threat of the takedown makes his striking better. Aljamain Sterling shared his thoughts on the upcoming rematch between Merab Dvlishvili and Sean O'Malley. Sterling believes the fight doesn't make the most sense, but he doesn't fault O'Malley for taking it. He also questioned how O'Malley will approach the fight this time. Aljo is confident that Merab will secure the victory once again, whether by a dominant 50-45 decision or by finish.
I don't think this fight makes a ton of sense, but it is a fun fight still nonetheless. Obviously, O'Malley has one title defense. Then he was out allegedly with surgery, I believe. I don't stalk his page, so I don't know. This is what people were writing in the comments, that he had surgery. But now he's coming back. Merab just fought a very tough title challenger in Umar Nurmagomedov. Had a great fight, tough fight. And now O'Malley's getting a chance for a rematch. I'm just curious to see what type of adjustment O'Malley has made since he's come back from his injury or alleged injury, and what's going to be his approach in this second fight. I don't know if there was any other viable next contender other than a rematch with Petr Yan, just again because Merab has cleaned out the division. It's like, what else do you do with him? Maybe Pantoja, but that's where it's at. I think because of the name value that O'Malley brings, he's still an exciting fighter. He had one defense. I guess one is better than three, but it does warrant, a guaranteed rematch. So, again, and not knocking O'Malley, if the UFC offers you something, a title shot, an opportunity, you take it. The same thing I said about Diego Lopez. It's not me against you or anything like that. It's literally just how the game is. So when you understand how the game works, you take the opportunities that you're given, especially if it makes sense where you're at in your career and if you're prepared for it. And hopefully good things can happen. But in this case, I ride for my boy, and Merab is going to get it done. I truly do believe that it's going to be another 50-45, or maybe this time Merab actually snatches his neck and gets the guillotine finish.
Merab Dvlishvili responds to Sean O'Malley and Tim Welch praising him ahead of their rematch. Here's what they had to say on the most recent episode of the Timbo Sugar Show.
Merab's a nice guy. He really is.
Yeah, Merab is a funny dude. Like I said, if we weren't in this situation,
he does not like you.
We would be.
He doesn't.
He hates you.
I understand why. Smoke Merab.
That's a good point. I don't know. I'll forever be grateful for Merab in that sense that he beat me, made me become a better, not just fighter, better person, better human. Losing's a weird thing. Where there's struggle.
Merab reposted that clip to his Instagram. He wrote, "Cut it out, motherfuckers. Go back to talking shit. I need to be mad about you again," with laughing crying emojis. Tom Aspinall shows off his punching power. He posted this video to his Instagram today. He wrote, "Character is power. Sorry, coach." Bryce Mitchell claims that he dated a witch who was destroying his life, which led him to change spiritually. A few years ago, Bryce posted a video saying that she destroyed his fruit trees and encouraged people to not support her tattoo business.
So I'm out of town for my fight, and my coward ex-girlfriend came by my house and vandalized my house yesterday. She destroyed all of my fruit trees. Now, my ex-girlfriend runs a tattoo shop on Booth Street. And for the love of God, if you're not evil and you're not a coward, don't give her your business. The tattoo shop on Booth Street, the woman that runs that, came by my place and destroyed all my fruit trees. I've been working on those trees for years, and she came by last night and killed them all. I'm making this post because this shit is evil, and I'm begging the community of Cersei to help me. Guys, I'm out of town, and my animals and my wife is at home by herself. I need my neighbors to help.
Recently on the On Paper podcast with Anthony Smith, Bryce said I was dating a witch. She became fully possessed with destroying my life, and then I casted her out in the name of Jesus. Since then, my eyes have been completely open to the spirit realm. I know that everything around us is actually spiritual. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. These comments are in reference to the heated back and forth between Ariel Helwani and Michael Bisping. The first one's from Duke Mundy. It says, "You're not that guy, Helwani. You're not that guy." The second one says, "Ariel has problems with 109 people associated with the UFC." And the final one says, "Funny how all the troubles Ariel finds himself in, it's never his fault." Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.